Hi, how you doing? My name is Jared Smith. Got the luxury of interviewing Dr. Linehan via email. She's an amazing person. She's a vet, and obviously a teacher here. Um, she's very active in the community and is very willing to help. Um, she's my 110 teacher, so I'm blessed to have her as that, and I was blessed to have her time for her to even do this interview. Um, First question I asked was when did she know she wanted to be a vet? Um, Said at the age of 5 she had her mind set that she wanted to be a vet. Um, the vet clinic that she went to, she used to bug the vet there um, and asked for a job. So by the age of 14, he gave her one, and she joked and said that was just to shut her up. So um, I also asked her what obstacles did she have and when did she feel like quitting, or has she ever felt like quitting, and what motivated her to keep going. Um, when she was at the Ohio State University, she had some situations, ethical issues. Came across a lot of vets that felt the opposite of how she felt, which she's very compassionate for animals and try to save as many as she can. They took field trips to slaughterhouses and nasty labs, so that was an eye-opening experience for her. She wasn't expecting it and came very close to quitting at that point. Um, she's been a vegetarian and activist since 1983. And while at Ohio State, she found out right before her surgery quarters that each quarter they anesthesize and euthanize about 200 animals on the table. So that was a huge issue for her. And another student actually protested and actually um, took the university to court. Student actually won, and Ohio State was forced to have better practices and alternative ways for the animals. Dr. Linehan wasn't shy during this time. In her efforts, she actually wrote the dean a huge letter about what alternative practices would be, when they would take place. So she questioned a lot of stuff. So the dean actually called her boss, which was the vet she was bothering since she was 5, to try to get her fired. But luckily for her, she's a good worker, and the vet knew her since she was 5, so that helped out a lot. So the dean and the vet actually had some heated words and argued a lot, but in the end, Dr. Linehan actually got to keep her job, so that's a good thing. Um, Said her motivation was to go back was that, in her words, she was noble and also very immature. Um, she was very noble because she felt like if she became a vet, once she got her degree, she could do some change and do some good with her degree. Um, she also used the word immature. She said she was immature because she knew that it would irritate the dean every day he seen her. And it would irritate the dean even more when she walked across the stage and got that degree. So um, her immaturity helped her a lot in that situation for her to keep going. So that's a good thing. And I told her I loved the Ohio State Buckeyes, and it wasn't hard to get in. And what made her go there, what motivated her to go there. She said mostly financial reasons. Ohio State was a lot cheaper than other colleges she went to. She saved up a lot to go to school. It wasn't nearly enough for the school she wanted to go to. So she's had her mind set on Ohio State. She said it was very hard to get into, but her GPA was high enough, and she earned a seat. Excuse me. She said she had a rough time with the ethical issues I just mentioned before, but she ultimately got through. Said what made her get into teaching. She said she spent some time teaching in the 80s with the Humane Society, so that helped a lot with her decision. She also said she could teach clients at a clinic, but she feel like if she teach a broad view of students, that those students could teach clients. So she's teaching a lot more at one time, so she's doing more good this time. So she felt like that was important to her. Also, a couple health issues limited her as a veterinarian, so that was teaching was the best option. Also, she knew she would be a teacher someday. She had some wonderful teachers before, so she always wanted to get into teaching someday. So, um, she said now she spends. I asked her what her daily tasks are. She said she spends most of her day in front of a computer with the discussions, homeworks, coming up with videos for us in our 110 class. So it helps because she doesn't have to drive the 244 miles round trip, which is insane. An insane amount of miles to put on the car every day. So she found the home as an online instructor. Um, Important classes, she says, were I asked her what were some important classes to take that will help you in this field. She said important classes were actually her high school typing class and her critical reading and discussion class. Those actually helped. And I asked her what was some of the hardest courses she took. She said her organic chemistry class and her advanced calculus class probably the hardest. She said it still gives her chills to this day. So hopefully I won't come across those anytime soon. I asked her, is this a growing field? Does she feel like it's a growing field? She said, yes, a growing field as far as numbers. We have more people in this world, so more pets, and people put a lot more value in their pets. It's like family now, so that's a lot more work for us because people value their pets more now than they did back then. Back then, people probably just euthanized and just get another one. Now, look at it as their kid, sister, brother, or whatever. Said it's especially a growing field if you choose to specialize. So, another question I asked, what did she like most about her job? She liked most because everything is different every day. She likes helping the students, likes getting to know people, and she also doesn't have to deal with life and death situations every day. This is the first time she didn't have to since she was 14, so that's good. Um, the most stressful part of her job every day is the business portion of it, business portion of school, but she doesn't really have stress on the job. She pretty much has it down packed, so the business part is what is the most stressful for her. Important skills that she said you should have are the ones that the AVMA requires, obviously, but she said important skills are the soft skills, your people skills, communication, stuff like that. Those skills are a lot harder to teach, is what she said. So I said, how did she get interested in veterinary? She said she got interested because her family had respect for animals since she was young, so she's been around them. So by the time she was 5, like I said before, she had her mind made up on she wanted to be a veterinarian. And another question I asked was, how does she feel about exotic pets? Because me personally, I love exotics. That's the field I want to get into. So I asked her, how does she feel about exotic pets? She said she was against exotic pets. She doesn't feel like we can give them what they want, what they need, what they have in the wild. For example, she used birds. Birds like to fly free, make nests, roam around. And ironically, as a pet, we throw them in a cage. That's not giving them what they need. So she has been on a lot of wildlife rescues, rescuing lions, tigers, bears, wolves. So she's seen some heroic things. People think they can give wildlife animals what they need, and really they can. She said the best thing to do is educate and legislate. So Ohio is cracking down on wildlife. So that's the best thing. That's how she feels about the exotic pets. And that's about it. I would like to thank her for her time, answering the questions. She gave some really great and long answers, so I'd like to thank her. And Miss Plungus, she said hi. Thank you.